For over a decade, Kaley Cuoco was a fixed point in the pop culture universe. As the bubbly, lovable, and somewhat neurotic Penny on The Big Bang Theory, she was the girl next door who charmed a nation of sitcom viewers. Her image was one of sunny Californian optimism, often seen on a motorcycle or with a volleyball, a testament to her athletic, all-American persona. To the public, she was predictable, comfortable, and familiar. The Kaley Cuoco of today is a study in creative reinvention, a woman who has systematically dismantled the Penny persona and emerged as a formidable force in Hollywood as a producer and dramatic actress. This transformation, while lauded by many, has also caused a noticeable stir, revealing as much about the industry and its audience as it does about Cuoco herself. Her journey from sitcom sweetheart to dark comedy matriarch and executive powerhouse is a narrative of artistic hunger, business acumen, and a deliberate, sometimes jarring, pivot away from the role that made her a star. To understand the stir, one must first appreciate the sheer scale of the pedestal The Big Bang Theory built for her. For 12 seasons, from 2007 to 2019, Cuoco was the face of one of the most successful television shows in history. Penny was the entry point for the audience into the world of brilliant, socially awkward scientists. She was the heart, the emotional center, and the source of much of the show's warmth and comedy. The character, and by extension Cuoco, became a beloved fixture in millions of living rooms. This success, however, came with an invisible cost: typecasting. Cuoco was asterisk Penny. When the show ended, the question on everyone's mind was, what next? The expected path was another sitcom, a romantic comedy film franchise, or a gradual retreat from the spotlight. The industry is notoriously unforgiving to actors trying to escape the shadow of an iconic role. For every John Travolta who finds a asterisk Pulp Fiction asterisk, there are dozens who remain forever defined by their past. Cuoco, however, was not content to be one of them. She had already tasted the other side of the camera, having executive produced and starred in the short-lived but critically acclaimed series Asterisk, The Flight Attendant Asterisk. But it was the end of Asterisk Big Bang that truly opened the door for a full-scale metamorphosis. In 2020, as the world locked down, Kaley Cuoco exploded onto the screen in a way no one anticipated. The Flight Attendant Asterisk, based on the novel of the same name, was her unequivocal declaration of independence. She was not just the star. She was an executive producer, a title that signaled a shift from hired talent to creative architect. The character of Cassie Bowden was the anti-Penny. Where Penny was grounded, despite her flighty ambitions, Cassie was spiraling. She was an alcoholic, deeply traumatized, and caught in a complex web of international murder and espionage. The role demanded a range The Big Bang Theory never touched: raw vulnerability, psychological unraveling, and a gritty, dark humor far removed from the live audience chuckles of a sitcom. The public reaction was a mix of shock and admiration. Critics raved, and the show was a smash hit for the then-fledgling HBO Max. Audiences, however, were divided. Some praised her brave and stunning performance, thrilled to see the actress shed her sitcom skin. Others were unsettled. The sight of Penny in such a dark, morally ambiguous, and frequently panicked state was dissonant. The transformation was so complete that it forced a collective cognitive reset. This was not the girl from across the hall. This was a complex, flawed, and fascinating woman commanding the screen. This period marked the beginning of the stir. The conversation shifted from "what a great comedienne" to "who is Kaley Cuoco?" The industry took note, not just of her acting chops, but of her power as a producer. She had successfully packaged, sold, and starred in a hit show, a move that placed her in the ranks of Hollywood's new generation of actor-entrepreneurs like Reese Witherspoon and Margot Robbie. While Asterisk The Flight Attendant was the pivot, Cuoco's subsequent choices have solidified her new trajectory, further distancing her from her past and continuing to fuel the conversation around her evolution. The second season of Asterisk, The Flight Attendant, delved even deeper into Cassie's fractured psyche, exploring themes of sobriety, recovery, and self-sabotage. Cuoco's performance became more nuanced, proving the first season was no fluke. But it was her voice role as Harley Quinn in the animated series of the same name that showcased another facet of her transformation. This Harley is not the glamorous anti-hero of the Suicide Squad films. She is chaotic, violent, profane, and hilarious. Cuoco's vocal performance is a masterclass in manic energy, a world away from Penny's vocal fry and sitcom-delivered punchlines. This choice was particularly telling. It demonstrated a comfort with animation and genre material that was entirely separate from her established brand, appealing to a different, perhaps edgier, demographic. It was another brick removed from the wall of her old persona. Then came Based on a True Story Asterisk, a dark comedy thriller where she plays a pregnant woman who, along with her husband, decides to launch a true crime podcast about a serial killer. The role again leans into the darkly comedic and the morally gray, a space Cuoco seems increasingly drawn to and one in which she excels. Each project feels like a deliberate step further down a path away from Pasadena and the Cheesecake Factory. The discourse around Kaley Cuoco's transformation is multifaceted, rooted in psychology, industry dynamics, and our own relationship with celebrity. Audiences and executives alike find comfort in categorization. We like our comedians to be funny, our dramatic actors to be serious. When an actor successfully crosses that divide, it disrupts our understanding of their talent. For 12 years, we were told Cuoco was a sitcom star. Her current work tells us she is more, and that recalibration requires a mental effort that naturally generates discussion and sometimes resistance. Cuoco's early persona was built on accessibility and relatability. Her foray into dark, messy, and often unlikable characters can feel, to a segment of her fan base, like a betrayal of that contract. They fell in love with Penny, and Cassie Bowden or Ava Bartlett from Based on a True Story are not characters you necessarily want to be friends with. This dissonance creates a stir, as some fans struggle to reconcile the actress they thought they knew with the artist she has become. There is an undeniable element of power in her transformation that challenges traditional Hollywood structures. She is no longer just an actress waiting for the phone to ring. As a producer, she is the one making the calls, greenlighting projects, and building her own empire. This shift from passenger to pilot is a powerful narrative, but it also disrupts the established hierarchy, making her a figure to be reckoned with, not just cast. This newfound authority is inherently stirring. Cuoco's personal life has always been tabloid fodder, from her marriages to her love of motorcycles. Her transformation has coincided with significant personal chapters, including a highly publicized divorce and the birth of her daughter, Matilda. This intertwining of personal resilience with professional reinvention creates a compelling, almost cinematic narrative arc. The public watches her navigate heartbreak and motherhood while simultaneously building a production company and choosing challenging roles. We are witnessing a full-life metamorphosis, and it's impossible to look away. While the word stir implies controversy, the ultimate outcome of Kaley Cuoco's transformation is overwhelmingly positive. The stir is merely the sound of old perceptions breaking. She has successfully accomplished what so many actors strive for but few achieve, a second act that not only rivals but in some ways surpasses the first. She has proven her versatility, moving seamlessly from multi-camera comedy to single-camera psychological thriller to animated chaos. She has demonstrated sharp business acumen, building her production company, yes, Norman Productions, named after her dog, into a genuine brand with an eye for compelling, female-driven stories. More importantly, she has gained the one thing every artist craves: creative control. By becoming the source of her own projects, she has freed herself from the whims of casting directors who might only see Penny. She is now the author of her own career, choosing roles that challenge her, stories that interest her, and building a legacy on her own terms. The stir she is causing is not a sign of failure but a testament to the success of her reinvention. It is the noise of an actor breaking free from a gilded cage and soaring into uncharted, and far more interesting, territory. Kaley Cuoco is no longer the girl across the hall. She is the producer in the boardroom, the star in the dramatic spotlight, and the chaotic clown in the animation booth. She is a mosaic of complex characters, and the picture she has built for herself is infinitely more fascinating than the one-note role the world once knew her for. The transformation is complete, and the stir is simply the sound of everyone catching up.